Alicia Monson. So we're looking at the new American record holder.
Yeah.
In the 2 mile. Just talk to me about the initial feelings.
I mean, it feels good. Like, I honestly wasn't quite sure where I was at, like 3K, 2 mile wise, going into this, just because I've been in like just a long strength block since the fall. So yeah, it was a good shock to the system, and I'm happy with. I made it hurt, so that's all I can ask for.
Yeah, I mean, talk about making it hurt. I mean, you were in there for most of the race. You got dropped off a little bit. What were kind of the tactics you were going with?
Yeah, I mean, I knew my only chance to beat someone like Laura is to just run away from her, because she just has an incredible kick. So, you know, I tried to just make it hurt, and yeah, I kind of just pushed the line the whole ways and didn't quite have it at the end, but you know, I gave it what I had.
What was going through your mind as you started to see Laura and the other women start to kind of pass through?
I was just trying to like attach to them, but my legs just couldn't quite turn over, and you know, I was like, well, I know the American record is still kind of in reach, so I just kind of tried to give it what I had at the end, and yeah, so I'm happy with it.
So were you processing the time of like, okay, I'm falling off, and like American record is this, were you like looking at your skills and all that?
Yeah, I had been looking at the time the whole race, just because I know like so much of what I do in workouts is like time based. Like Jason tells me to run a split, so I run it. And so yeah, just it gives me more feedback about how fast that I'm running, because sometimes your body lies to you in a race and you actually don't feel as bad as you think you do. So I just try to go time based.
How do you feel about the
good. Yeah, I mean, you know, like my 8:25 last year was, I guess, respectively faster in a 2 mile than 9:09, but like I was much less ready for a 3K this year than I was last year, because I had been doing much more. You know, I did like 2 fast miles in the lead up, and this one I basically just like, I had COVID to start the year, and then we just kind of tried to keep my volume up and then slowly add back the intensity. So yeah, I'm happy with where I'm at.
yeah, and like the place, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, I mean, I wish I would have won, right? Like, but you know, keeping in mind who beat me, like they're all people who beat me this summer, so that's something to like think about, and think about like where I could be training for the 10K.
Are you running the 10 this week?
I am, yeah. In March, I'm running the 10. Yeah.
Any goals for that? You know.
American record again. I'd really like to see a 29 something, just because I think that's what makes me more competitive on the global level, and I think it's going to be well set up. So yeah.
Do you think that's reasonable based where you're at in training right now?
I think so. Just like my ability to hold on to like a hard pace, and I've been working a lot more this year on like faster long runs, so really getting that like aerobic endurance and trying to stick on Helen, which is hard enough. So yeah, I mean, I think, you know, I got 5 more weeks to really like get that pace in my head, but I think like my base is really good.
How fast are those long runs? Can you give us an example?
Well, I ran like a 17 miler at like 6-minute pace, and then by doing like the first half just easier and then the second half harder, and like 19 miles at 6:13 pace or something. So a lot of the like 6:10s or 6:20 pace average, where you're just continuing to get faster throughout.
So Alicia, running a national record in the 3K and then moving up to the 10K, how do you think that speed is going to help you in the longer distances?
I mean, just that feel of like how hard it is running that faster pace is like, you know, you're gonna, the last 8 laps of a 10K is really where you turn it on, and having the base to back up the first half of the race, and then, you know, knowing what a faster pace feels like in respect to the 10K is gonna be good, I think.
So training at altitude, how does that affect the training that goes into training for something like a 10K? Do you think it kind of changes from the 3K to the 10K?
I think it helps, especially like training at altitude for the 10K, because 3K and down, you need a lot of faster stuff. So like in the summers when we go down to sea level to train, that's easier to come by, harder to come by like up at altitude. So for the 10K, it'll be good, and just yeah, having that point of reference.
Is hitting an American record like a super high for you, where you gotta come back down, get back into training? Like, what's kind of that mindset as we go forward?
So I would say last year, yes. This year, like, I wasn't even training for the American record. Like, I just knew it would come if I just raced. So I wasn't really going into it being like, I gotta get an American record. But yeah, I think like just knowing that like that's kind of a marker to like where you have to be in order to compete on the world level is more of like what's important to me.
Is there a level of comfortability in that, knowing I'm good enough to be just like, I can kind of train through, I can race and get an American record?
Yeah,
right?
I mean, I think I take it for granted, but yeah, I mean, it's great to know that, like, I mean, I ran like 95 miles last week and got dropped by Dathan on a workout on Sunday. So like, yeah, it was good to just like know that, I can perform when it matters, and just knowing that the key is August is the time to do it. Yeah, he likes to jump in sometimes and help me out, and he had like prescribed a certain pace for Ks and then ran like 4 seconds faster than he said that he would go, so classic.
So does he get in trouble for that? If you're screwing up your workout?
Yeah, I mean, he's just like, yeah, we gotta push you a little bit more, so yeah. But I just take it and try my best.